and I didn't even know this. You would know this. He was on the album, Phish's album, Hoist.
It all happened across the street.
From where I live. You lived across the street. We won't give the address, but you lived across the street in a house supposedly that Jimi Hendrix lived in.
Yes.
And you played trombone.
I lived next to Paul Fox, who produced, among others, the late, great Paul Fox, R.E.M. and Bjork and Jacob Dylan. And he was wonderful. And the guys from Phish, who he also produced, obviously, came to his house and hung out. And the mailbox at that house across the street from you, it used to be my mailbox, was a cow. You ever seen those cow things? And it was dented because so many people had hit it, as I'm sure this whole street. It happens a lot. It's sort of the cow version of the largemouth bass mailbox, which you see out in the country, right?
Yeah.
And this was dented to shit. And so it was a landmark because that's when you knew when we got to my house or to Paul's house. So they knew I played trombone because they watched Star Trek and they were big fans of the show and all that kind of stuff. So wait,
Trey Anastasia's there?
Yes.
From Phish.
And John Fishman, who I still know in Maine.
And they are there with you?
They're there with me, and they asked Paul to ask me to play trombone on their album they're working on Saturday in a studio out in
Did they know you were good?
They didn't. That's the story. So I'm invited out, and I'm so psyched, as you can well imagine. I get in the studio. They put the chart up on the music stand. It is beyond my capability because I am only good, or was at that point only good. Now I really have no lip at all. But the chart was too high. It was too fast. It was completely. And I attempted it. So I played what I thought, and he said, "Okay, let's start again." And it became clear really fast to me. But they were being very patient. The engineer was being patient. And we try. It became very clear that it was not going to work. But so they ended up hiring the trombone player from Tower of Power, who was a monster. But the outtakes of my attempts to play the charts on whatever song it was I was meant to play on were saved and became this 29-second cut on Hoist called Riker's Mailbox is the name of the song.
Obviously.
It fell
Riker. He played Riker on Next Generation.
Boom.
Come on.
And it was my mailbox. It was my outtakes. And Paul, God bless him, gave me a gold record. I got a Hoist gold record on my wall, framed.
God, I was listening.
Were you a Phish guy?
I was Phish in college.
Yeah.
Before any of my friends. I can't spare a moment on the dog-faced boy. Ooh. I won't lend another hand to the warm girl of Hanoi. Don't deplete my oxygen for the guy who's turning blue, but ask me and I'll do anything for you. Remember that one?
Beautiful.
Oh, well.
Let's go out to dinner and see a movie. That's the one I remember.
Oh, yeah.